Joining us now from Bangkok is political risk researcher Nick Brumfield. Welcome to the program, Nick. Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, has long been seen as a behind-the-scenes power broker. How significant is it that he's now formally taking the role previously held by his father?
In terms of operations vis-a-vis this war, I don't necessarily think it changes all that much. I do think it formalizes the IRGC's kind of in the driving seat right now. He is considered the IRGC-linked candidate. I do think, you know, the IRGC is the one primarily determining what's going on right now. His formal selection, of course, does paint a target on his back where it wasn't before. And as your correspondent said previously, Israel and the United States are probably going to spend a lot of resources trying to hunt him down going forward.
And his appointment comes in the middle of this escalating war involving the US and Israel. How might Mojtaba Khamenei's leadership change Iran's military or strategic approach in this war?
So he is considered, again, a hardliner associated with the IRGC. So I think that is going to, we're going to see a continued confrontational tack where maybe we were seeing, President Pezeshkian try to walk that back a little bit a couple days ago before he got shouted down. I do think that this will complicate the U.S.'s attempts to extricate itself from the conflict. President Trump's theory of change appeared to be, kill the supreme leader and then try to pressure Iran to pick someone that he liked, similar to what he did in Venezuela. With Mojtaba's appointment, that becomes less a possibility. And, I think it will protract the conflict, probably.
Well, that's right, because Donald Trump had suggested that the US should have a say in who leads Iran. Given the fact that Khamenei's son has now been appointed, how might Washington respond to his appointment, and how could that change their objectives in this war?
I think D.C. is probably going to invest significant resources in trying to hunt him down and kill him, again, to try to destabilize the top regime echelons in order to kind of pressure Iran to make a deal Trump considers more favorable to the U.S. or even himself. That said, I think we'll see a continuation of what we've been seeing for the last week now, continued heavy bombardment, particularly from Israel, but also from the United States, continued Iranian attacks in the Gulf. But we're going to see pressure building, and with Trump, it's very difficult to predict exactly what he's going to do. He was doing something very similar to this with the Houthis in Yemen last year, very, very brutal airstrikes, very, very extensive, and then after a month and a half, he just said, okay, we're cutting a deal, which, if I'm a betting man, is probably within a month or two what we're going to see.
When we look at the regional and global economic impact, oil prices have surged above $100 a barrel amid fears about supply through the Strait of Hormuz. How worried should the global economy be about where this conflict goes next?
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing analysts say that global oil prices could go up to $120 a barrel, if not more, sending the world into a recession at the very least. In Southeast Asia, where I am based, several countries are running daily tickers of how much fuel reserves, how many days worth of fuel reserves they have left. So this is something that a lot of people all over the world are very, very concerned about. And if the Strait of Hormuz is not opened to traffic soon, we are going to see, economic devastation, not just around the world, but also in the Gulf, where a lot of these Gulf oil states have been investing very heavily trying to put product on the market. We did see Kuwait, for instance, declare force majeure just a few days ago. It is going to really cause a lot of economic devastation.
With Israel continuing strikes and Iran retaliating across the region, are we entering what could be a much longer and more dangerous phase of this war?
I think it could be longer. I think particularly with the withdrawal of the United States, if it if it does occur at some point in the next couple months, but Israel decides to continue its strikes, I think we'll see kind of a de-escalation, but not an end to the conflict, similar to what we saw between Israel and the Houthis in Yemen the past year, where Israel continues to try to conduct attacks more sporadically, but against high-value targets.